What up, y'all? It's more Mr. Downtown Ray Melo, and you're listening to the Entertainment Report on iHeartRadio, live from Dubai for Monday, June 6, 2016, delivering some major stories and trends going on in the world of entertainment and beyond. You can follow the show on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, facebook.com/The Entertainment Report with Ray Melo, that's RAYMELO, on Twitter at The Enter Report, or on Instagram at The Entertainment Report. You can listen to the show anytime you want on iHeartRadio. Just go to iHeart.com or your iHeart phone app, search for The Entertainment Report, and it'll take you to the page. I hope everyone had a fantastic weekend. The passing of Muhammad Ali continues to weigh heavily on those saluting the three-time world heavyweight champion's impact on society as a humanitarian. 11-time NBA champion Bill Russell released a statement Sunday morning. "It's difficult for me to talk about my friend because real friendship is private. Muhammad Ali knew how to be a friend, and that's one of the hardest things to come by. I met him when he returned from the Olympics in 1960. I invited him to my house, which I used to do for all the Olympic gold medalists that I knew. We shared that experience. He knew how to be a friend, and I'll never forget that about him. His friendship means a great deal to me." Ali's funeral will be held Friday in his hometown of Louisville, Kentucky, and will be preceded by a public procession. The sports icon died Friday night because of septic shock from unspecific natural causes at a Scottsdale, Arizona hospital not far from his home. He was 74. Ali spent the last hours of his life surrounded by his family after initially being hospitalized on Monday. Ali, who retired from boxing in 1981, had battled Parkinson's disease since being diagnosed in 1984 at the age of 42. The Golden State Warriors and the Cleveland Cavaliers remembered Ali while preparing for Sunday night's Game 2 of the NBA Finals. Cavaliers star LeBron James referred Ali to the first icon and the greatest of all time. James told reporters before Saturday's practice, "We knew how great of a boxer he was, but I think that was only 20% of what made him as great as he was. He basically had to give up a belt and relinquish everything that he had done because of what he believed in and ended up in jail because of his beliefs. It's a guy who stood up for so many different things throughout the times where it was so difficult for African Americans to even walk in the streets." He also added, "For an athlete like myself, without Muhammad Ali, I wouldn't be sitting up here talking in front of you guys. I wouldn't be able to walk in restaurants. I wouldn't be able to go anywhere where blacks weren't allowed back in those days because of guys like Muhammad Ali, Jim Brown, Oscar Robertson, Bill Russell, Lou Alcindor, Jackie Robinson, and the list goes on and on." Cavaliers coach Tyronn Lue said Ali was, quote, "the first guy I idolized growing up. Impossible is just a big word thrown around by small men who find it easier to live in the world they've been given than to explore the power they have changed it." Lue reciting his grandfather's favorite Ali quote, "Impossible is not a fact, it's an opinion. Impossible is not a declaration, it's a dare. Impossible is potential. Impossible is temporary. Impossible is nothing." Before their practice at the Oracle Arena in Oakland, California on Saturday, the Warriors played a 1970s song about Ali, Black Superman. Warriors superstar Steph Curry said, "Ali was the example of how you use your platform and speak what you believe no matter what people say. Players look at him as a sense of confidence in that regard for sure." Warriors coach Steve Kerr said, "What he did not just for African Americans, but for all Americans in terms of trying to promote equality, in terms of really raising the level of consciousness about what was happening in the country. He's probably the most influential athlete in the history of our country." The ounces of tributes continue to pour across the world. Alabama coach Nick Saban remembered the legendary boxer's impact on his life growing up in West Virginia. Saban, who used to huddle around the car radio as a kid to hear Ali fights, told ESPN, "I was an Ali fan in every fight that he ever fought. When you lose those people, it's a bit sad because they're a little piece of your life." Saban said he often referenced Ali to his Crimson Tide teams. He said, "But I guess we have to have a lot of gratitude for the fact that we still have the memories, even though they don't live on, for the accomplishments, and I think it's important we pass it on along to the younger generations." Jim Brown, the Pro Football Hall of Famer running back with the Cleveland Browns, heard the news of Ali's death late Friday. He said to the Cleveland Plain Dealer on Saturday, "This is the passing of an American hero. He pushed the buttons. He stood up for what he believed. He was a great champion, a great American, and a great friend." Brown said he last saw Ali last fall in Louisville at the Muhammad Ali Center. Brown said he'd been sick a long time. "I just always hoped he wasn't suffering. When we were in Louisville a few months ago, his wife Lonnie was doing a tremendous job with him. It was different seeing him with Parkinson's because we were so used to the bravado of Ali and the intelligence. We're used to the physicality and the quickness and everything associated with him. But I always think of Lonnie and the job she did." X-Men Apocalypse director Bryan Singer wants to see a Mystique solo film. The 50-year-old director voices support for the potential project while discussing Apocalypse on the Empire Film podcast. Jennifer Lawrence plays the character Raven Darkholme in Apocalypse and 2 other films. Singer said, "I think Mystique's right for a solo movie, whether it's Jennifer as that character or not. Mystique sort of has that view of the world where she rejects the idea of heroism." He also added, Professor X can get into Cerebro and look at the world, but he'd rather just teach classes and see the beauty of mutants and humans coexist. He elaborated by saying, along comes Raven with a reality check on the state of the world. It opens up a lot of avenues. Wolverine, played by Hugh Jackman, is the only X-Men to go solo thus far, with no sign of the planned Gambit, played by Channing Tatum movie. Apocalypse producer Simon Kinberg previously discussed a Mystique standalone with Entertainment Weekly. He said, "I love what Jen Lawrence has done with her, and I feel like because she is in such a crowded ensemble, there's so much more opportunity if you were to follow her solo." Lawrence also played Mystique in X-Men's First Class in 2011 and X-Men's Days of Future Past in 2014. She expressed renewed interest in the franchise in March after claiming Apocalypse would be her last X-Men film. Actress and filmmaker Elizabeth Banks has confirmed she will not helm the 3rd installment in the Pitch Perfect franchise. Banks tweeted Friday, "Though I won't be directing #Pitch Perfect 3, I'll continue to oversee PP3 as producer and return as Gale. Prepare for a #Merry Pitchmas." No reason was given for her departure for the film, which is set for release December 22nd, 2017. Banks co-starred in and produced the first 2 musical movies in the series and directed Pitch Perfect 2. The original stars and new cast members of the Ghostbusters movies are united on Jimmy Kimmel Live, Sony Pictures said. Wednesday has been deemed Ghostbusters Day since it's the anniversary of the 1984 release date of the first film in the series. Participating in Kimmel's reunion that evening will be Ghostbusters icon Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Ernie Hudson, and Annie Potts, as well as franchise newbies Melissa McCarthy, Kristen Wiig, Kate McKinnon, and Leslie Jones. Fans will also be able to join in the celebration by seeing a sneak peek of the new film as part of the Fathom events presentation of the original classics in more than 800 cinemas nationwide on June 8th, with encore showings on June 12th. Ghostbusters 2016, the 3rd biggest screen adventure in the franchise, is set for release July 15th. Star Wars icon Carrie Fisher and former Game of Thrones villain Jack Leeson have been confirmed as guests at the New York Comic-Con this fall. Marvel Comics signed Stan Lee and Gotham co-stars Robin Lord Taylor, David Moretz, and Aaron Richards are also expected to participate in the 4-day event at the Jacob Javits Center in Manhattan. The pop culture convention, featuring celebrities, panels, screenings, autograph signings, and seminars, is scheduled for October 6th to the 9th. Showtime says it has ordered White Famous, a half-hour comedy executive produced by and guest starring Jamie Foxx. The show will be penned by Fox's fellow executive producer Tom Capanos, who created, wrote, and executive produced 7 seasons of the hit series Californication. White Famous is a co-production between Lionsgate Television and Showtime, which will focus on a talented young African-American comedian whose star is rising, forcing him to navigate the treacherous waters of maintaining his credibility as he begins to crest over towards becoming white famous, the synopsis says. Fox said in a statement, "I came up from stand-up comedy, so to be able to share that aspect of my life on screen with a project like White Famous is incredibly exciting. We couldn't have found better partners than Showtime, Lionsgate, and Tom Capanos to tell this story the best possible way." Capanos added, "They say you can't go home again, but I'm thrilled to be back at Showtime, where I'm equally jazzed to be working with the brilliant Jamie Foxx on the creation of another wickedly profane TV anti-hero." Sarah Bareilles, Darian Criss, Titus Burgess, John Stamos, and Norm Lewis took part in a live concert version of The Little Mermaid this weekend. The stars played respectively Ariel, Prince Eric, Sebastian, Chief Louis, and King Trident. Entertainment Weekly said Saturday night's show at the Hollywood Bowl featured a live orchestra and songs from the classic animated 1989 Disney movie. Wilson tweeted after the show, along with photos of her dressed as her Ursula the Witch costume, "Thank you so much to all the fans who came out to see The Little Mermaid in concert last night." Bareilles said in her own Twitter post, "This is my dream and it just happened, OMG, #Grateful Mermaid," which captioned a group photo of her with Lewis, Wilson, Chris, Burgess, Stamos, and others. Bill Skarsgård will star in the big screen adaptation of Stephen King's It. The 25-year-old Swedish actor is in final negotiations to play Pennywise the clown, according to The Hollywood Reporter. Sources told Variety Will Poulter and Hugo Weaving were also considered for the role. Skarsgård will join Jaden Lieberher, Finn Wolfhard, Jack Dylan Grazer, Wyatt Oleff, Chosen Jacobs, and Jeremy Ray Taylor, who are also being linked to the film. Mama Helmer Andres Machetti will direct in the wake of Cary Funenaga's departure. It will be split into a two-part adaptation, with the first movie to open September 18, 2017. The films are also based on King's novel of the same name, which was published in 1986 and previously adapted as a two-part TV movie with Tim Curry as Pennywise. King's story follows a group of children terrorized by a shape-shifting creature that most often appears in the form of Pennywise. The first movie will follow the characters as kids, while the second will see the group reunite as adults. Skarsgård is best known for playing Roman Godfrey on the Netflix series Hemlock Grove. He is the son of actor Stellan Skarsgård, who plays Eric Selvig in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and the brother of True Blood star Alexander Skarsgård. Gillian Anderson has joined the cast of American Gods. The 47-year-old actress confirmed the news on Twitter after news outlets reported her casting Friday. Anderson will play the god Medea in the Starz series adaptation of the Neil Gaiman novel. She wrote of Gaiman and series creator Brian Fuller and Michael Green. It's true, at American Gods STZ, excited to work with at Neil himself, at Brian Fuller, and Michael Green. American Gods follows the ex-con Shadow, played by Ricky Whittle, who is sucked into a war between the old gods of mythology and the new gods of modern day after agreeing to work for the mysterious Mr. Wednesday, played by Ian McShane. Anderson's character serves as the mouthpiece and public-facing sales representative for the new gods. She takes the form of different celebrities and thrives off the attention people give to their TV, computer, and phone screens. The X-Files star previously collaborated with Fuller on the NBC series Hannibal. American Gods co-star Emily Browning, Yeti Bataki, Bruce Langley, Jonathan Tucker, and Crispin Glover, and will premiere in 2017. Anderson is best known for playing Dana Scully on The X-Files, which completed a 6-episode revival in February. The actress also portrays Stella Gibson on The Fall, which will return for a third season this year. Showtime has announced its fall premiere schedule, including returning dates for its popular series Masters of Sex, Shameless, and The Affair. Season 4 of Masters of Sex will bounce September 11th, while Season 7 of Shameless was to debut October 2nd, and Season 3 of The Affair will premiere on November 20th. The 3 series will be available on Showtime on air, on demand, and over the internet. The U.S. adaptation of the British comedy Shameless stars William H. Macy, Emily Ransome, Jeremy Allen White, Ethan Kukalski, Shanola Hampton, Steve Howley, Emma Keeney, Cameron Monaghan, and Isadora Guster. A press release noted, when we last saw the Gallagher clan, they threw their narcissistic dad, Frank, off a bridge into the Chicago River after he showed up high at Fiona's wedding with the revelation that destroyed her happy ending. Michael Sheen and Lizzie Kaplan play real-life pioneers of human sexuality, William Masters and Virginia Johnson in Masters of Sex. A synopsis says the season will begin in 1968 and will take viewers into the swinging 70s, during which time our characters will take on new partners professionally, personally, and sexually. Ruth Wilson, Dominic West, Maura Tierney, and Joshua Jackson lead the cast of The Affair. The synopsis reads, over its first 2 seasons, told from distinctly different perspectives, The Affair has explored the emotional and psychological effects of an affair that destroys 2 marriages and the crime that bound these individuals together. At the conclusion of Season 2, the mystery of who killed Scotty Lockhart was finally solved when it was revealed that Helen was at the wheel of the hit and run that killed him on the night of Colt's wedding. To save Helen, his ex-wife, and the mother of his children, Noah confesses to the crime. Meanwhile, his new wife, Allison, is left to raise her daughter, whose father turns out to be Cole, Allison's ex-husband. Tenacious D is clearing up those Jack Black death hoax rumors that took the internet by storm Sunday. The comedy rock duo Black and Kyle Glass tweeted, "We had our Twitter accounts hacked. We can assure you that Jack is alive and well, and this was a sick prank." An earlier Sunday post on the Tenacious D account, which has since been removed, said, "I'm sad to officially announce the death of Jack Black at the age of 46. Rest in peace, brother," Gossip Cop reported. Subsequent tweets on the account read, #RIP Jack Black, and it is with a heavy heart that I am to announce that Jack Black passed away last night at 3:37 a.m. The cause of death is yet unknown. The BBC said this is the third time Black has been the subject of a death hoax after an erroneous report surfaced in 2012 claiming he had fallen off a cliff in New Zealand, and again in 2014 where he allegedly died after a stroke. Black's film credits includes the Kung Fu Panda franchise, Goosebumps, Tropic Thunder, School of Rock, and High Fidelity. Game of Thrones star Kit Harington no longer has a beard. The 29-year-old English actor sent fans into a frenzy by showing off his signature facial hair. Harington debuted his new look this week in London, where he's starring in a West End production of Dr. Faulkness. One social media user wrote in response to the news, Kit Harington